The clock's hands moved slowly, its ticking echoing through the silent room. That room had never been this quiet before, once filled with laughter, the sound of the TV, and ringing phones. But today there was only silence, and in that silence, Savita sat on her old wooden rocking chair, staring out of the window. A parrot sat on the branch outside, flying away and returning again. Savita thought, if only people could fly back to where their hearts truly belong. Her heart had always lived within her children, Rahul and Payal, both grown up now, living in their own homes, in their own worlds. Savita's husband, Madhusudan, had passed away 10 years ago. Since that day, she had lived alone, holding her life together with quiet strength, morning tea, temple visits, cooking for her children, evening walks. That was her routine. Rahul worked at a bank. Payal was a school teacher. Their lives were busy, but Savita never complained. She always said, if your children succeed, a mother's life is already complete. But slowly, even the walls of her home started changing. The room once scattered with Rahul's books now looked spotless, as if no one had stepped in for months. Payal's old perfume stood dried up on the dressing table. Every Sunday, Savita hoped they'd visit. She'd add cardamom to the tea, place sweets on the tray, and turn the TV volume up just to make the house feel alive. But soon, Sundays started feeling like any other lonely day. Sometimes Rahul would call, Mom, I'm a little busy, I'll come next week. Or Payal would say, Mom, the school project is going on. Maybe next time. And every time Savita smiled and said, that's okay, work is important, but every next time drifted farther away. One day, her neighbor Sunita said, Savita, call your kids for a few days. How do you stay alone? Savita smiled faintly. They're busy with their families. I shouldn't bother them. But that night, while eating alone, her tears mixed with her lentils. Then came the day Savita suddenly fainted. When her neighbor knocked and got no answer, they broke the door. She was lying on the floor, blood pressure dangerously high. They rushed her to the hospital. Rahul and Payal arrived the next day. Savita, weak but conscious, smiled. Look, my children are here. Rahul held her hand. Mom, please rest now. Payal wiped her tears. Why didn't you tell us you were so sick? Savita whispered. I didn't want to trouble you, dear. She spent 3 days in the hospital. The bills kept coming, but she never asked who paid them. She was just happy to see her children again. The doctor said she should not live alone anymore. Rahul said, Mom, come live with me. I'll take care of everything. Payal interrupted. No, brother, she should stay with me. I'm a woman. I'll care better. Savita smiled. Watching you argue makes me feel better already. Finally, she said, you both have your responsibilities. I'll be fine here. I have my neighbors, my doctor, and my temple. The children didn't insist further and left. A week later, the same silence returned. Days passed. Savita grew weaker, slower. Her breath was shorter, her steps smaller, but she never complained. One evening, she opened her old trunk and took out memories, photographs, her children's school certificates, her late husband's watch, and a few old letters. She placed them in separate envelopes, each labeled Rahul, Payal, Sunita, and the last one, for myself. Inside that one, she wrote, Savita, you've spent your life caring for others. Now, until your last breath, live for yourself. A few days later, her health worsened. One morning, when the milkman knocked, no one answered. The door was forced open again. Savita was on her rocking chair, smiling peacefully, as if she had fallen asleep into a sweet dream. The envelopes were beside her. When Rahul and Payal arrived, the house was filled with flowers, neighbors already paying respects. Rahul saw his mother's face, and memories came flooding like shattered glass. The mornings she walked him to school, the nights she stayed awake when he was sick, the promise he once made to buy her a sari with his first salary, a promise he never fulfilled. Payal held her envelope, opened it, and read, Payal, you always told me not to trouble you. Now I truly won't. Just remember, a mother is still with you even when she can't speak. Rahul opened his envelope next. It said, my son, you kept running. After work, after responsibilities. One day you'll realize a mother's love was also a responsibility. Now live peacefully. Both of them broke down, crying like children again. For the first time, they felt the emptiness of something that had always been there, a mother's presence. Weeks later, while cleaning her home, they found the last envelope, the one marked for myself. Inside, it read, I lived my entire life for others. Now that I'm leaving for the first time, I'm leaving for myself. Perhaps Madhusudan is why